So we can see that the physics are working. The bag drops, wiggles a little bit, and then after a moment, it starts to tip over. So things are working as expected. However, I don't know that I necessarily want that to happen. I think I want the bag in this case to drop and just stay flat on the surface standing up for the purposes of what I'm doing. So there's a few options there. One thought that I had was I could go into edit mode. I could select vertices along the bottom, and I could then create a vertex group, which would be under data properties, and you can create vertex groups right here based on what I had selected. And then I could go back to my physics properties, and there are areas under some of these items where you can apply a specific vertex group to things that you're doing. So that was one thought. The other thought would be to just try to really mic things in the properties menu for the object as a whole. Just trying to get this thing to behave exactly the way that I would want. But more often than not, I think the simplest and easiest answer is the best way to go. So I do like that this tips over, and I think I might save a copy of it as is, just for if I decide to put a few more bags into the scene. So I'm going to do a quick Shift D and hit enter. It can stay right where it is at the moment. And let's find that one and just push the eyeball to hide it. Okay, so with that gone and hidden, and there for future use if I want it, I think what I want to do is just stop the simulation at a set point. So if I go back to my physics properties, and if I scroll down, there's an area, I can select the cache area, and we can see right here, there's a simulation start and end, 1 through 250. Well, that coincides with, I think with me selecting things, it's harder to see now, because it probably wants to recalculate. But you may have noted earlier that there was a blue line that ran from this opening frame to 250. Well, let's change that. I think what I want to do is I want this bag to be invisible at the opening of the scene. And then partway through the scene, I would like it to materialize. And then at that point, I would like the physics to be applied for a brief period of time until it ends up in an upright position on the ground. So I'll just go ahead and say the simulation starts, this part of the simulation will start at maybe frame 50. Actually, I think I might even go more. Let's go frame 100. And I think we'll just go maybe 160 for the end of the simulation. And let's go ahead and play and see what we get. Okay, so now when I push play, nothing happens. It just sits up in space floating. And then at frame 100, we see that the bag drops. It jiggles a little bit. And at around frame 110, it stops. So I think for my purposes, that's just great, and we'll use this.